Hello and welcome to the family work. This is going to be my first video in a series. I don't know what happened, but my intro got deleted along the way. So I am going to do a bathroom renovation. I'm going to completely gut our hall bath, which is what our kids use. And I'm going to take you step by step along the way. Now, our house has a couple bathrooms, so I was not in a hurry to do this. I just did a little bit at a time. I tried to break it up into what like a normal work day would be. But honestly, there was times a week or two would go by and I wouldn't work on it much. And then my very last video, I'm going to add up the costs and find out how much this remodel costs us. I kind of don't want to do that because I have a pretty good idea where it's at. So again, I apologize, there's really no intro. I'm going to jump right in and show you what the bathroom will look like when I start my demolition. Alright, so I removed the door, which has like 12 layers of paint on the back of it. I don't know what we're gonna do with that. And then I removed our mirror, which my wife just discovered it was a medicine cabinet. I thought she knew that. Had to be at least 30, 40 years old. And then these things, oh my goodness, I've never actually, I'm sure I've broken some of these off, but I don't know what the installation process was when they designed these. This one looks like, I thought it was a hook or something went in there. I thought maybe they just mudded it, or you know what, I'm probably being dumb. They probably just use adhesive, and no, but see, that's not all drywall. That's like mud back there. I was thinking maybe they just stuck it to the drywall. But now what sucks is I'm gonna have to do some extra drywall repair. I don't know if we're gonna do a medicine cabinet, if we're gonna do a mirror. I was thinking either way, we could probably just cover that. But our new Vanity, these are actually like 2-3 inches low. Vanities now, they seem to be, I think it's 28 inches and now they're 30. I could be wrong on that, but I know the new one's a couple inches higher and there's a backsplash. I hate to leave those cavities there, but man, I hate doing drywall. I don't know if I should I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when I get there. But I got the plumbing apart down here, and next step is to remove the vanity. All right, so another example of what were they thinking. Guess that towel rack was pretty secure. All right, well, the sink top wasn't even connected. When I lifted on the vanity, it just popped off. Wasn't connected to the wall with even caulking. So it's amazing my kids never pushed that around. However, I do see some screws here, but I disconnected the water, and as you can see, I was planning on replacing these valves anyways, but I can't get that water to shut off. So, looks like I'm going to be shutting the water off to the house and replacing these a little sooner than I anticipated. So, looks like I got a trip to the store now. Alright, so I've spent about a half hour of work and about 5 hours of running around. And we got the water back on. So let me explain here. So you can see I took the drywall off. I wanted to avoid doing that. I thought I'd be able just to patch, but in a combination of where the medicine cabinet was, and then the way those towel and soap holders and all that was in the drywall, and then the icing on the cake was that one pipe that I had to replace the drop ear for. I had to cut out. My wife was like, Brian, just take the drywall off. It's going to be a lot easier than trying to patch all that. Just put new sheets up. So I did stop halfway up because I figured I don't need to do all of it, but I may come back and cut that later. We'll see. I don't know if I ever finished my thought. of why I hate going to Lowe's and why I will stop going to Lowe's. Even though it is the closest place to our home, they didn't have really what I needed. And then they're like more expensive. I went over to Home Depot, which is on the other side of town, and everything was like $1 more at Lowe's. And I mentioned this earlier, my preference is Menards. When we owned the campground, we would spend tens of thousands of dollars every year at Menards, and it was worth it. That you get 11%, almost all the time you get 11% back. You have a contractor car, you get another 2% on that. So not only are they cheaper, they have really good sales all the time. And when they don't have really good sales, they have 11%. And sometimes they even have 11% and sales going on. There's tons of stuff we get there for free. Like flashlights and little tools. And so if you don't know what Menards is, I'm sorry. I didn't know what it was until I moved to Ohio. And they own land near us. And I'm hoping that one day they'll build a new one down here. But for right now, we got to go. There's 2 of them in 2 different directions, and they're both 90 miles. So I didn't go today, even though I wanted to, and probably better because I had to go back a few times. And I don't know if I showed this, but down here, this pipe that like fell apart, the bottom half of it was copper. So they did copper up to here, and then they did either galvanized or steel or iron right here, which is a different size. If they would have just kept with the copper, then what I started the very first time, my push fit shark bite would have gone right on there, and I would have been done 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. So I was pretty frustrated by that. And I cut it low, so now my water valves stems are at 2 different levels. I may raise that up. I didn't want to try to solder underneath there with not being able to access that very well. And I was lazy, so I just spent a few extra bucks and got another shark bite. So I don't know. I might raise that up. I might leave it there. We'll see. We didn't have water all day, and that was not the plan. So that was a priority to get the water back on for the family. And again, I'm jumping back. Menards. Okay. Lowe's. Number 1 reason I will not shop there. They tell me it's new. I don't know. They have their return policy with the receipt. If it's more than 30 days old, they will not accept a return. They will not accept an exchange. And that just blows my mind, because this project, I started buying the Vanity, the faucets. I started buying that stuff 2 weeks ago. I haven't even bought my shower door yet because I have to get this tile off and put the backer board and put the tile up and get a measurement, because the shower door I'm buying, there's like a 57 to 58, a 58 to 59, 59 to 60 inch. And you get about a 3/4 of an inch play, but for $1,000 shower door, you don't want to be taking that back and forth. And I will be buying that from Menards. And that's special order, so it's going to be like 2 weeks in. So this whole project is going to be, unfortunately, it's not just a weekend job the way I'm doing it. I mean, you could buy stock stuff and have it done in a weekend. But the way I'm doing it, it's going to take us time, which is okay because we have other bathrooms we can use. But yeah, that is a ridiculous return policy. Menards, when we had the campground, I had stuff that was still brand new, that was years old, and I took it back, no questions. Now, they may have to do a store credit, but because I spent so much money there, it didn't matter. I'll usually use it the same day. And then if you didn't have a receipt, they have like policy, you're not supposed to do more than 3 returns without receipts in 90 days. And I rarely did that because I always use my Menards card. So you could just swipe it on the computer and it pulls up all your receipts. You can do it online. You can see all your receipts online without even having to go to the store. It is a little pain that you got to go get your receipt printed before you check out or do your return. Whereas Lowe's, Home Depot, they'll just swipe your credit card and they'll do that for you. But it's worth it. It's so worth it. I wish we had Menards here, but Lowe's, more expensive, don't have what you need, and you can't do any returns. Even with the credit card, with the receipt, you can't do returns beyond 30 days. And I can't even fathom being a contractor. And maybe it's different if you're a contractor there. I haven't looked into that, but No way. I'll drive further to Home Depot, or my preference if I can get everything in one trip, which I was going to get all these valves and everything. And that's the other thing I'm going to rant here. When I owned the campground, or when we flipped houses, I had all kinds of fittings and valves in my work truck or in my workshop. But we sold all that. We left all that with the campground. And so like I would have copper, and I do PEX. Everything I do is PEX. The only reason I didn't do PEX here is because I was just changing a valve. I wasn't even planning on changing the valve. Didn't want to redo all the plumbing. But I don't even have all my PEX stuff because we left all that at the campground. So this has been a frustrating journey, but it will be worth it. My family's had a lot of patience with me. They've known to leave Dad alone today. So I didn't take any frustration out on them. But at least we got water on tonight. I'm not even going to bother cleaning up my mess. We'll do that tomorrow when I try to take that tub. And I've taken about 3 or 4 of these tubs out, and they are always a pain in the butt. They don't, I don't know, they're like metal, but they're just a pain in the butt. That's what I thought was going to be the worst part of this project, was taking the tub out. But knock on wood, we haven't done it yet. So we'll see. It still may be the worst part. But that's it for tonight. This was just going to be a short, demo day, and it was a pain in the butt. But tomorrow I'm going to pick back up the demo, and we're going to try to get the shower out of here.